So welcome to everyone who's joined us this morning for the Enhancing Fair, Trustworthy Data Repositories workshop. My name is Al Wood. I'm from the Digital Curation Centre based here in Edinburgh, and I'll be joined by Amela Kurta and Obrad Vukovic. And apologies, I did get that wrong again, I think, despite talking ahead of the time. So this is part of the Fair Implementation Workshop series, which aims to help three key stakeholders, that being research performing organizations, repositories and data service providers, and national level initiatives to become more familiar with fair enabling tools, approaches, and methods. Each workshop will provide an overview of a specific fair enabling activity, share information on recent developments, both from within Fair Impact and other initiatives, as well as offering examples of good practice, practical tips, and recommendations. So just a bit on Fair Impact. So this project is funded under the European Commission Horizon Europe program and is one of the Infra-EOS projects. The project builds on the work of the Horizon 2020 Fairs Fair project and is a coordination and support action focusing on expanding fair solutions in Europe. The project has 28 partners from 10 member states and the UK. We actually conclude the project at the end of this month. So essentially, Fair Impact is working to support the vision of a European open science card where fair data can be shared and reused. Our work focuses on identifying current and emerging tools, methods, and approaches, and supporting their adoption. A key aim for us as part of this project is to help ensure that useful resources developed by one community of practice can be adopted by others. As I conclude my opening, I'll hand over to Amela Kurta, who will take you through the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Al, and thank you also for giving us the opportunity to present our implementation story. Let me just share my screen and presentation, and then I can start. Is it working? Not yet. Sorry. I hope it is working now.
Yes, we can see that now, Amela.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Amela Kurta, and I'm head of the Data Archive for Social Sciences in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And today I will be presenting our implementation story regarding the fair impact support that we took part in it. I will start with just briefly presenting repository background and motivation for participation, and briefly presenting our research infrastructure. And then I will follow up with the presentation of our implementation process and key improvements that we made based on the participation in the support action. I will also speak a little bit about the challenges we encountered and solutions we have applied during this support action, and what improvements we made at the end. So maybe some of you knew this, but let me just say it once again, that the Data Archive for Social Sciences in Bosnia and Herzegovina is a part of a research infrastructure at the Center for Development Evaluation and Social Science Research. We are an open and independent research infrastructure established almost 10 years ago with a mission to strengthen the evidence-based culture in our country, but also in the Western Balkan region. Our research fields include the labor market, migration, education, and social policy. And our research infrastructure is actually a member of several regional and international research networks, such as, for example, Wage Indicator and Open Air, but we are also a partner of CEST ERIC and ESS ERIC for Bosnia and Herzegovina. As a research infrastructure, we are also committed to advancing research assessment, and therefore we have signed the QARA agreement on advancing research assessment. So as a research infrastructure, in addition to the data archive, we also have some other departments and tools that are part of our research infrastructure. So the data archive itself relies heavily on our internal survey unit, which collects primary data. We also have survey data and administrative data preserved within our data archive. CREDI is also within its infrastructure have developed a lab with the software and also some research tools to help our researchers conduct projects more efficiently. And we have developed a different microsimulation model and indices. And we are also committed to developing research skills by opening up Inquire Hub, which provides services, but also train young researchers to conduct social science research. Our main stakeholders are government institutions, universities, and advocacy organizations that uses our data or services, but also engage with us within different projects to produce or to use publications and data that are outcomes of our research infrastructure. How the data archive fits into this infrastructure? Data archive is actually the national service whose role is to ensure long-term preservation and dissemination of social science research data, and particularly for researchers, teachers, students, and all other interested users. It was established in 2018 and developed so far using own resources, actually CREDI resources, but also using some resources from different projects and support actions that we have participated in. Currently, we have over 50 data sets available for usage, including data about our citizens, but also some data about citizens from other Western Balkan countries. The archive itself is supported by the network of universities, which was established, and currently it includes all public and several private universities in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The archive is a core trust seal certificate repository, which we have obtained in 2022, and we are preparing our recertification process. The repository is providing data under FAIR principle, and as such, we are including in the ERC inventory of trustworthy repositories, I think 2 times so far. And as I said, we also have participated in several FAIR impact support actions. The latest one was related to the testing of recommendations for FAIR enabling repositories, and I will be speaking about this particular action in the following slides. So the reason why we have established the data archive, but also the entire research infrastructure and how it was developed in the previous period is because back then in 2018, many researchers actually come to us saying that the data are not available, that the conducting primary research is too expensive, and that they don't have specific research skills to conduct such a research. So we thought that the research infrastructure was needed. In addition to that, we also run a survey among our network members to ask them about their activities related to the preservation of data from the social science research projects. And the result actually reveals that in that time, most researchers kept the data by themselves, or they didn't have any information, or it was at the funding institutions. So the sharing and preserving the data for the long term was quite rare. But unfortunately, I have to say, until today, not much progress has been made, or the culture of sharing the data and preserving the data is currently in Bosnia and Herzegovina relies on the self-motivation. The current position is that the Bosnia and Herzegovina has still not become a full member of the CEST-BiH. We also don't have national funds for research. There are some subnational funds, but not the one at the national level. We don't have developed policies at the national or institutional level to motivate researchers to share the data, and that was part of the reason why we joined the Quora agreement initiative to support and to motivate and to advocate towards our researchers to share and preserve their data for the long run. And also, unfortunately, I have to say that even major surveys, social science research surveys conducted by the statistical office are not conducted regularly. So given this context, we were highly motivated to join Fair Impact Support Action. And at the beginning of the support action, we assess that our current challenges are related to the limited visibility of the data archive within the national research community. Although we are internationally recognized repository, there were still low number of data set submissions and data requests. And we concluded that that is partly related to the insufficient awareness of services and repository trustworthiness among our local users. In addition to these challenges assessed back in that time, we also introduced some improvements that we would like to work further on. This includes migration of our data catalog to the Dataverse platform that was conducted in the late 2023. The reason why we migrate our data catalog to Dataverse is because we wanted to improve accessibility and interoperability of our data archive. And in the previous Fair Impact Support Action, we also conducted a fair assessment of some of our data sets in the data catalog using the Fuji tool, which showed us notable progress after migrating the data catalog to Dataverse, but also highlighted areas for further improvement, particularly related to the data access and interoperability. Our key priorities before joining the Fair Impact Support Action was to actually develop and publish transparent and user-friendly documentation for these new repository workflows related to the usage of the Dataverse platform. But also we would like to strengthen community trust and increase engagement through clearer process and service promotion. So our motivation to participate in the support action was to gain actionable insights to enhance the repository fairness and trustworthiness, to use these guidelines and to test them in a way to prepare us for the back then future trustworthy certification process, to improve repository perception and better tailor our services to meet the community needs, and also to encourage greater dataset submission, reuse, and visibility within our local research community. And how it was during the support action. During the support action, we as a participants, and also here with me is Obrat from the University of Belgrade, who will also speak about their implementation process. We were asked to test the recommendations for trustworthy and fair-enabled data repositories developed within the project by going to the defined activities within this support action. The support action included and asked us to go through the assignment to describe 70 attributes of the repository in a defined manner. So all these 70 attributes that you can see on the slide, we were tasked to describe them using these tables. So each attribute has to be described in a way to explain where the information about that attribute can be found, what is the location of a specific information, is it a human-friendly, accessible information, is it machine-friendly, how can it be validated, what is the added value of the exposure of this information for our organization. Based on this, what future improvements we would like to see, what are the wider examples of the exposure of the information for other stakeholders, and if we want to add some additional notes. And I have to say that this was a time-consuming process, but it also helped me and my team to think through these attributes and also think about the repository from the different angle, and to help us self-assess the current situation in the data repository and to prepare ourselves for the core trust seal reclassification, because most of these attributes, or all of them, are in a way included into the self-assessment application for the core trust seal. But in addition to this assignment, we also use the opportunity to engage more with our stakeholders. We had dedicated sessions and interviews with researchers, but also other stakeholders, to understand how they read these attributes and how they can assess this information from their perspective, in a way to improve those challenges that I mentioned at the beginning related to the assessment of the trustworthiness of the repository by our local research community. So while we were participating in a support action and doing this assignment and also these interviews and sessions with our stakeholders, we have identified areas where we could make improvements. And these include, first of all, the easiest one, unifying the name of the repository across different web pages, particularly related to the translation of the name of the repository from Bosnian to English and vice versa. Also, we basically based on these interviews and sessions with researchers, we thought that translating our main policies and guidelines on how to deposit and access data sets into local language would be beneficial for them. We also were identified that standardizing exposure of contact information, description, and research areas across different sources is needed. We also would like to work more on machine interoperability of our data catalog, particularly related to the harvesting of these resources by the CEST data catalog, which is currently not in place. We also wanted to standardize the content of the data access, data deposit, and preservation policies so that can be validated through machine actions, not just access. And also to switch from the custom dataset use licenses to standard ones from this year, and this is still a work in progress. So while participating in the support action and also speaking with our stakeholders, we encountered some challenges, and these include limited technical expertise. So we realized that we lack an in-house knowledge on machine interoperability and CEST data catalog requirements. And we required an extensive research and expert consultation, which is still ongoing, and in a communication with CEST partners, we are working on understanding and also improving the interoperability standards of our data repositories. We also encountered some translation barriers, given that translating key policies and guidelines into Bosnian was also a time-consuming process, and it was difficult to find qualified translators familiar with technical terminology used in these policies. but the progress was made by prioritizing essential documents and also seeking external translation support. For the part related to the stakeholder engagement, some stakeholders were unfortunately unfamiliar with the repository certification standards and basic FAIR principles. There were also initial hesitation to engage due to limited awareness of the benefits of trustworthy repositories, but also the long-term preservation and sharing of the data. And we approach this through informal sessions and individual meetings, and by gradually improving interest and understanding within our research community, but also with our other stakeholders' approach during this time. And there were also resource constraints because balancing ongoing repository operations and day-to-day activities with the new development tasks, and also with these assignments and activities related to the stakeholder engagement, actually stretched our available resources, and we had to manage it carefully by prioritizing those burning activities towards some others. So at the end, the steps taken to make improvements, which are still ongoing activities, and based on the results of the support action, was actually related to the reorganizing and updating the repository web page along with the data catalog, and we are working this continuously. We have also updated our RETI data and fair sharing records, and we kept eye on these in a way that if some changes happen, that they are reflected in these records accordingly. We have also switched from the custom dataset use licenses to the standard ones using the Dataverse data catalog platform. And one of the activities that we thought it would help us gain additional awareness among our research community is to promote usage of DOIs, as this was the recent change introduced in the repository by switching to the Dataverse platform, and also increasing the promotion of the fact that the repository is certified with a Core Trust seal, and additional efforts are planned for this year, particularly related to the recertification process, but also to the promotion of the repository among our researchers. And also, we would like, and we are trying to engage more with the community of trustworthy repositories following the new developments in this community. And as some of you knew, there are new networks of trustworthy repositories at the EU level. So we are trying to engage more with this community, but also with the CEST-BiH and other service providers within the CEST-BiH, to learn on how to standardize our policies so they can be machine validated. And we think that we need additional guidance on this, and this will be one of the priorities that we will be working on in the future. So I think I am in time with my presentation, and thank you very much for your participation in this workshop. You can find our RETI data and fair sharing links to these records at the slide. If you have any questions, you can post them in the chat and also later on in the Q&A session. If not today, you can reach me through these contact details at the slide. Thank you very much for your time, and please reach out with questions if you have them. I will stop sharing now and go back to Al or to Obrad if they would like to continue. I suppose Obrad will continue. Sorry, Al.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I hope you can hear me. I'll now share my screen. Just a moment to set up. Okay, I hope you can see the whole presentation now. Okay. And just to put this somewhere else. Okay. Okay, yeah, great. I will talk now about our experiences with this fair impact support action we had at the University of Belgrade in Serbia. And we had a slightly different situation because I will explain it later. University of Belgrade is highly decentralized, and we put forward with 4 repositories actually, and 4 repository managers. So the team consisted of senior researcher Matija Zlatar from Institute of Chemistry, Technology and Metallurgy, and librarians Zorica Jankovic from Institute for Biological Research, Siniša Stankovic, myself, Obrad Vučkovac from Vinča Institute of Nuclear Sciences, and also librarian Milica Ninkovic from Institute for Medical Research. All of these are members of the University of Belgrade. So I will start with a little bit of our background so you can understand the whole context of how we are performing and running our repositories here in at the University of Belgrade. University of Belgrade is the oldest and the largest university in Serbia. It's a public university, and it consists of 31 faculties from different areas, from life sciences, technical sciences, medical research, but also social sciences and humanities. And it also consists of 11 research institutes. And like I said earlier, it is very much decentralized. That means that all of these faculties and research institutes are doing their research and are conducting and are designing and running their infrastructure on their own. We lack of this kind of centralized infrastructures at our university. There was initiative probably some 10 years ago, more or less, by the university library to establish a digital repository, a centralized digital repository. But after a few years, most of the faculties and research institutes are now running their own repositories. They are all now since the last year, they are all aggregated by the national ECRIS system called eNauka, which aggregates all the metadata and information into one spot where you can search and find and see all the research outputs from the Serbian universities. Like I said, the most of the repositories that are established at the faculties and institutes are run by the University of Belgrade Computer Center. And they established this they built everything on this open source platform called DASS-BiH, this version 5.10. And they are currently running 48 repositories. That is the latest information. And most of these repositories are institutional repositories, but they also have a few thematic ones. And our 4 repositories are also designed and all the technical maintenance are done through the University of Belgrade Computer Center. One of our convenience is that one of these repositories, it's a repository, joint repository of the Institutes of Serbian Academies of Sciences and Arts, was certified with Cortra seal maybe some 2 years ago, and it was very helpful with our task that we've done here with the fair impact support action and with the recommendations, because that was the main source of information for all the documentation that we later on found that we are lacking. So we have here links to this computer center. And one of the characteristics of these computer centers repositories is that most of the research outputs that are deposited there are openly available. And as you can see from this statistics graph, you can see that data sets are not very much here, and maybe only 1.5% or less we have data sets that are available in our repositories. That is something that we wanted to change. And one of the reasons for this was that we established here in Serbia, we established a national open science policy. And it was first established in 2018, and but only few things were mandatory, like open access to scholarly publications and depositing these publications into trustworthy repositories. But all the other things like data management was not mandatory, it was just on voluntary basis. Since last year, some of us from this support action were involved in developing a new version of this open science policy. And it went parallel with this activity. So we knew that we had to come up with a more updated version with this policy. So with not with just open access to scholarly publication, we included that research data management should be mandatory as well. And one of the things that now is asked from the researchers that are fully or partially funded by the Republic of Serbia, that they should be that their research data should be managed according to the FAIR principles, and that all data and accompanying metadata should be archived in an appropriate institutional or thematic repository. And that document is now, especially now, is very crucial, and it was a key moment why we also wanted to enhance and to make our repositories more improved. And yes, and one of the things, especially because lots of our research groups are involved in European projects, and now, as you know, in these policy agreements, they are asking for depositing in trustworthy repositories, and that was one of the main questions where our researchers were approaching to us and asking, is our repository trustworthy? Is it some kind of infrastructure that we can deposit our research data or not? And so here comes our objectives and what we wanted to achieve with this activity and our results from this. So we as a team started implementing open science practices, and especially with open access and research data management, well, way before. But we kind of figure out that this whole implementation of FAIR principles remain behind, especially in comparison with our European counterparts. So we figured out that we should join some kind of activity and project where we could enhance our repositories and see what are the best ways to make them even better and to promote them, especially to make them fair enabling repositories. That was something that was our aim. So we came up with 4 repositories, like I said, from our teams. We figured out that this would be the best because they have similar key characteristics. They encompass life sciences, technical sciences as well, and also medical research. Goes all the research results from these fields go into these 4 repositories. And also they are made on the same platform, and not just our 4, like I said, 48 in total repositories. That is, vast majorities of the repositories in Serbia are built on the same platform and maintained by the same institute, and that's a computer center. And also we wanted to focus that we can train and to improve this, to have these activities on capacity building in RDM and FAIR principles that are far beyond our 4 institutions. And the main objectives were to, like I said, to strengthen the trustworthiness and of our institutional repositories, and especially to make them fair enabling, and that is very much our aim is to improve this interoperability of this metadata, and to ensure seamless integration between different networks, between different infrastructures. We also kept in mind additional objectives, that like I said, we wanted to make it this scalable, so all the other repositories could continue our work and look upon us, and to make the repositories more fair. And also we wanted to promote the use of our institutional infrastructure for depositing research data. Like you saw previously, only a small percentage of research data is deposited in that way. And as a final, we are preparing for this Core Trust Seal certification to make it officially trustworthy. That is the plan. So I will not go into details. Samela already explained the whole recommendations and this exercise worksheet that we were working on. We assessed our repositories and to see all the weaknesses and good practices. And what we noticed is that our repositories are very well maintained, because Computer Center was very active, and to make our repositories as good as possible. They are in compliance with open air guidelines, and they are connected in all the registries and all other important network that are there. We also found out that our 4 repositories, 3 of them actually are registered in RE3 data, and also there some of them are registered in NIFOS Europe catalog that was initial part of the EOSC EOSC catalog. But also this whole activity was very much, this worksheet was very much helpful because it showed us, because it was consistent on very much of the details, and something that was obvious to us. We later on, when we assessed our repository, we find out that there were a lot of gaps that we could manage, and there were a lot of space where we can improve our repositories. So what were the areas that were needed improvement? First of all, better visibility and accessibility of our repository documentation. Like I said, we knew that our repositories were trustworthy, but there were simply the evidence of that was not that much visible. So we have these wiki pages with all the documentation, but it was hidden and it was not very much transparent. And that is something that we wanted to improve in especially in our home and about pages. Also, we found out that we have a metadata that is embedded in the web pages that are part of the GUI of repositories, and then we wanted to improve that and to make it more, to enrich them. Yes, even more. And also we found out that we could utilize more our REST API because these space repositories have this availability to provide this kind of metadata exchange. For now, I think, only one repository has this REST API available, but not the others, and that is something that we need to work on even more. And we also were considering some things that could be improved. That is subject field, that we think that we can improve it by introducing control vocabularies, especially this would be especially helpful for the medicine science with their mesh taxonomies. And also we are thinking about registering in repositories in fairsharing.org and maybe some similar registries. Like I said, one of the repositories not included in retreedata.org, and that is something that we are thinking to improve. We have already took some steps for improvement. This was the most easiest one and the most quickest solution. So we put the link to the user manual that was we found out that it is missing, and but we only have for now the Serbian version of this text, and we are now working on an English translation as well. And also, like I said previously, one of repositories that was not part of this support action was certified with Core Trust seal, and within that process, they had to develop very comprehensive documentation and to upgrade the whole workflow and everything. And that was something that we are now heading to see and to make improvements even on our repositories as well, and to make them ready for certifications. So our future plans involve Yeah, first of all, we had dissemination activities in last year. We presented the whole support action and our experiences with this on the 5th National Open Science Days. It's a biannual Open Science conference that we have in Serbia. It's very much a good perspective to disseminate this kind of achievements. Also, it was we had a poster on annual conference on of the Institute of Chemistry, Technology, and Metallurgy, and one of the most interesting things is that this activity was presented at the forum of 18 institutes that are involved in a project SAGE, that is a project of transforming and modernizing Serbian institutes. So now it was a great opportunity for modernization thing and for institutes to know that they can rely on and they can work on their repositories as part of their research infrastructure. Like I said, our plans for future is to get ready for this Cultra seal, and we want to make a good example. We will continue disseminating this whole our experience to the other stakeholders and especially to other repository managers in our network. So thank you. So I will stop sharing now. Okay.
Thanks, Brad, and thanks, Amala, as well. Really interesting presentations as well. At this point, we're opening up to a Q&A. I saw there was a question from Andrea that was answered in the chat. If anyone would like to ask any questions now, you're welcome to pose them either in the chat or to unmute yourself and ask one of our attendees directly as well. So I'll just hold off there for a second if anyone does have any questions at this point. No, not for now. So you're welcome to ask at any point. We have a Woo clap that will ask you to complete a couple of questions on now about your experience of this event and what you took and what you're looking to take forward from this particular workshop. I can share that with you now. There is a QR code on the screen that you're welcome to use that will get you into the questionnaire. Alternatively, you can type wooclap.com into your browser and use the event code NJGXZQ. This will allow you to answer a couple of questions that we have about your experience of this particular event as well. And of course, as you are completing this and logging in, if you do have any other questions that aren't covered by the question that we have, please do unmute yourself and ask one of the speakers. You're very welcome at this point. So I can see a few of you have logged in already, so I'll just move on to the questions. There's only 2 questions, so we'll look to wrap up shortly. So what did you get out of today's session that can help you with your own work? So again, after the conclusion of this event, the recording will be shared on the Fair Impact website. So you'll be able to share that with any colleagues who weren't able to join us today to rewatch anything from today's session as well. The slides will also be shared on there as well for you to look at as well. Yeah, just do it. I really like that as a point there. Good examples, guideline, an example of fair data repositories. a new experience as well, a validated own experience, implementation processes. Yes, certainly, yeah, and that's one of the really good parts about this workshop series is showing examples and good and best practice as well. So I'm glad that you've taken that away as well. So I don't know, Amala or Brad, if you wanted to comment on anything that you can see at the moment, if you wanted to mention anything that people are saying here.
Yes, if I may, I will just
Please.
continue with this. Like I said, we had this opportunity to disseminate this on our national conference, and we had there a lot of comments on this as well, like this. And in Serbia, and I think probably in Bosnia and Herzegovina is probably this more or less the same. All these activities that come to finance the open science and especially developing with the developing infrastructure come usually and mostly come from European funds. And this is something that we need to improve more to make our national funding agencies to be more commitment for this. But and that was also the opportunity for our research institutes and everybody involved in, especially in open science, to come and to join these international European initiatives like this, and it proved to be very helpful, especially with acquiring and spreading our network even more.
Yes, thank you, Obrad. And I also would like to add that it is the same in Bosnia. Yes, the most funding comes from the European sources for the open science projects. And I would also like to thank to the participants for these reflections, that these are good examples on how you can improve and how you can apply the recommendation. And just would like to say that I put in the chat link to the recommendations, so you can find it and read it after this workshop. And comparing to the case of Serbia, as you could see from my presentation, I think you are advanced comparing to our situation, because you already have a national policy for the open science. You kind of have motivation and requirement from the researchers to deposit data to at least when it comes to the publicly funded research projects. This is not the case with Bosnia and Herzegovina. And also you have opened some chapters with the European Union accession process that allows you to use these funds more heavily, which is not the case with Bosnia. So these are the differences, but given the contents of the Western Balkans region, but also the mentality of researchers, I think we face similar challenges. And I would like to ask maybe some of the participants from the Western Balkan region to share their experiences or examples regarding the open science projects, or any challenges they encountered while applying for these funds, particularly related to the open science requirements, as Obrad said, because researchers now need to find trustworthy repositories where to deposit data once they, obtain EU funding.
Yeah, thank you both. Yes, so please do add any comments into the chat at this point. We will be sharing contact details as well, so you can continue these conversations. 'Cause I think, like you say, these are problems that we often share as well. So it's really important to be able to promote opportunity as well as support for each other as well. So there's a second question that we have before we wrap up with a slide on the Fidelis project, which, as I mentioned earlier, the Fair Impact project is coming to its end at the end of this month. Fidelis started in January this year, and I'll provide a bit more information about that and some opportunities to get involved in that as the project develops further. But this second question leads on from the first. This is looking from what you learned to what action are you planning on taking from what you've heard from Obrad and from Amala today. Yeah, absolutely. I think networking's so important as well. Um, Definitely to learn from each other. And as I said earlier, from my experience of running these particular workshops, despite the widely varying topics, the support and the experiences that people have learned from have really benefited each other. So it was great to see examples of that today as well. So and again, thank you to our speakers and for all of you for attending as well. But I can see a few more points are coming in now. So I don't know, Obrad or Amela, if you wanted to comment on any of these that are coming in now.
Yes, maybe related to the networking. Yes, I agree that we should network with the repository in the region. But given the opportunities and the resources we have to develop more further, I would like, I think that the networking with the European community of trustworthy repositories is even better for us in a way to find appropriate knowledge and skills from the more advanced repositories in the Europe towards our Western Balkan repositories. I suppose that you will be speaking more about the Fidelis project in short time, but if I'm correct, that is the project which aims to establish and run the network of trustworthy repositories at the EU level, so at the European level, not the EU, at the European level. So this is the opportunity also to say to other repositories here, but also to other stakeholders that it is recognized by the EU level that this kind of network is needed, and for all repositories to network, to learn from each other, but also to promote these principles towards other stakeholders. And also, because we are also in the process of preparing the CTS recertification process, I can, understand why this was particularly relevant for these repositories, and I can say that this process, by testing the fair impact recommendations, helped us prepare for this process, because you assess your documentation and links and if everything is working correctly within the repository during this process. So this kind of exercise can help you prepare for the certification process. And I think Obrad also can confirm this.
Yes, but I will not take much more time, but I totally agree with everything Amal said. Yes, thank you.
Yes, yeah, thank you both. And yes, Amala, on the Fidelis, that's exactly the purpose of that. And I think at this point I will move to that, given the time that we're on now. So just a bit on Fidelis. So as I mentioned, the Fair Impact project is coming to an end at the end of this year. The Fidelis project is the kind of almost new iteration of what the Fair Impact is turning into. So the Fidelis project is a Horizon Europe initiative with aims to establish a European network of trustworthy digital repositories within the European Open Science Cloud. The Eden project is the second arm of the Fidelis project. This will aim to enhance digital preservation strategies at EU and national levels. Both projects kicked off in January in 2025 and will run for 3 years, as the Fair Impact project did as well. So I can post a link into the chat. You're welcome to click on that and see more of that as well. So I'd just like to say there is a fair implementation workshop in a couple of weeks' time. I believe it will be the last one of the series before the project comes to its conclusion, although there might be another one working in the background. However, this one is confirmed on measuring FAIR for RS application of the Fuji tool to Ursula Model Hub. Another interesting series to conclude. But I'd just like to say thank you so much to Amala and to Obrad for presenting today on behalf of your organizations. Some really interesting insights into the work that you've been putting together as well. And thank you to everyone for joining us today. It's brilliant to be able to share that with so many of you online today. So at this point, I'd like to say thank you for attending today. The recording will be shared on the Fair Impact website on the same page where you registered for the event as well. So if you would like to share that with any of your networks or to watch anything back again, you're very welcome to do so. So thank you again. Have a good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're calling from today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.